Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with the Atak Sportz for this Thursday afternoon here on November the 14th, 2015. Right, it's overall wrestling edition today. So let's kick off with the latest on WWE Survivor Series. Now, WWE announced a new match for Survivor Series on the website yesterday. And I am slightly disappointed by it. If you missed my Raw review on Monday, and we saw what happened Monday at the end of Raw, with the Shield and the Wyatts getting into a brawl with the Usos, and Goldust and Cody, and Daniel Bryan and CM Punk at the end of the handicap main event between Daniel Bryan and Punk against the Shield. We saw that 12-man brawl. I was hoping that it would lead towards a 12-man tag at Survivor Series. Well, that's not the case. Instead, they announced Punk and Bryan to be teaming up against Harper and Rowan in a tag team match at Survivor Series. Very disappointed it's not a 12-man. But here's the only good thing, though. What I think now is that I think the Usos and Goldust and Cody could team up. Here's my new prediction. Since the 12-man tag failed, how about a traditional Survivor Series match? Cody Rhodes and Goldust teaming up with the Usos against Reigns and Rollins of Shield, teaming up with the Real Americans, Cesaro and Swagger. That's my only suggestion. Unless they want to add Los Matadors and make it and get another team, another heel team, but I don't think so. That's my prediction now, since it's not going to be a 12-man tag, since Cody Rhodes and Goldust and Usos don't have a match now, since it's going to be Wyatts against Cody, Punk and Bryan, 8-man Survivor Series match. If Usos and Cody Rhodes and Goldust against the Shield, Rollins and Reigns, and We're Americans. So that's my prediction now for that Survivor Series. Now, we got another big pay-per-view besides Survivor Series. Wrestlemania. Coming up, Wrestlemania 30. And what perfect way to celebrate the 30th anniversary to try and get back the man who started it all. Hulk Hogan. Now, there's no official word if Hogan is out of TNA. But what it looks like now, Hogan is out of TNA. And there's been little hints about Hogan coming back to WWE. About being in WWE 2K14 that started the discussion about Hogan coming back to WWE. Now, Jimmy Hart, one of Hogan's longtime friends and, of course, his one-time manager, he said that Hulk Hogan is going to be at WrestleMania 30. No matter what. Whether it's in the audience or, as many fans would think, in a match. So who knows? Maybe Hogan may be coming back to WWE. It'd be very interesting to see him back, but time will tell on if Jimmy Hart was really right. So there you go. Hulk Hogan, rumored to be at WrestleMania 30. Or at least that's what Jimmy Hart said. That's what he said. Anyway, speaking of TNA, on with our TNA Impact Wrestling preview for this evening. Hopefully there's more matches this week. And not a lot of bullshit ending, like the disqualification will count out. Speaking of bullshit, I can only think of top 3 questions. Usually it's 5. But I can only think of top 3 questions that must be answered this evening on TNA Impact. Question number 3. Who will accept Gail Kim's open challenge? Well, speaking of that disqualification of last week, Gail Kim and Lady Tapa caused disqualification in a scheduled triple threat match involving ODB, Velvet Sky, and Brooke last week. Disrupting that match, that was to determine Gail's new number 1 contender. Gail and Lady Tapa interfered because Gail has beat anybody and everybody in the roster. So she issued an open challenge to any female not in TNA to accept an open challenge for a non-title match. And if this woman would happen to beat her, it would be a title match in her future. I think like they could bring like somebody back that hasn't been on TNA in a while, like Tracy Brooks or even fucking Roxy or Angelina Love or just somebody new from another company who hasn't been in TNA at all. Who knows? Who will accept Gail's challenge? We'll probably see this week. And maybe that match may take place at Turning Point, the Impact event next week. Speaking of Turning Point, which will be back in the new and improved Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. Maybe they're not going to tape in the real Impact Zone in a new soundstage. Question number 2, will any new matches be made for Turning Point? We all know Bully Ray will take on Mr. Anderson in a no disqualification match at Turning Point. And these two duped it out last week in a brawl. Let's see if they get a little physical with each other again this evening. So we'll see what happens there. And if Gail's match against this challenger is going to be at the pay-per-view type event next week or not. And question number 1. What will unfold when the tournament for the Tournament of New Champ continues on? Now, last week Jeff Hardy beat Chris Sabin in a decent 4-minute mayhem match thanks to the Wheel of Dixie, determining stipulations. This week it's Kurt Angle against Austin Aries in a submission match. I smell Bobby Roode getting involved. Of course, Roode and Angles had their issues. They got into a lot of balls last week on Impact. Referees could not stop him. And speaking of Roode, his match against Storm and the match between Magnus and Samoa Joe, those two matches stipulations will be spun tonight from the Wheel of Dixie. And both those matches will be on Turning Point. So at least we know some new matches for Turning Point. The last 2 matches of the first round of the TNA title tournament will take place next week at Turning Point. Those steps will be announced tonight on Impact, tonight at 9/8 Central on Spike TV. That is it for the Attack Sports for today. See you all later for my TNA Impact review this evening. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the news, sports news from Zach. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Yeah.